Good afternoon, everyone. I am a research chemist with USDA-ARS, 100% research, and an adjunct position with the department here, as well as advising faculty with the Water Resource Science program. I currently am not advising a graduate student, but I thought I would just list a couple of graduate students in the last few years. I'm now employed with MPCA, and Jennifer Hamlin, who is with ARS, and I'm advising her as a research assistant. We also have several undergraduates, one of which recently went to Land O'Lakes. And below I've listed different departments where the people I've collaborated with are housed. I thought I'd start with what drives me, starting with passion, and that is that I'm a real outdoor and nature enthusiast. And as a result, it's really piqued my interest in looking at sustainable practices and improving environmental and human health. I'm also the granddaughter of a dairy farmer, and that has always perked my interest on agriculture and food production, both in small and large scales. And I still find to this day, whenever I'm flying and I fly over an agricultural area, I often think, I'm so lucky that I get to work in agriculture. I also really find it a joy to be a mentor of students, both graduate and undergraduate. We hire a lot of hourly help. As a result of these passions, my research interests are environmental fate and effects of contaminants. I originally started looking at pesticides, nutrients, and sediment, but have more recently gone to contaminants of emerging concern, which are pharmaceuticals, antibiotics, and some of the more residential compounds like personal care products and wastewater treatment effluent compounds. I also am interested in practices to improve sustainability of managed biological systems. Agriculture, we have row crop, vegetables, and now more recently it's going to be urban ag as well as horticultural systems. So the overall arching goal, I would say, my research is looking at sustainable and improved environmental health and human health is a primary goal. With the approach is first identifying problems that was looking at identifying and measuring contaminants, determining if they are of risk, and then identifying their sources. From identifying the problem, we also want to look at exploring solutions. We want to look at best management practices that help not only the grower but the environment. This could include mitigation practices, starting with proactive approaches for preventative reduction. And in the case where there is contamination, you can look at remediation or restorative approaches. I'm going to just briefly highlight a few of the projects I've been associated with, and that is first looking at contaminants of emerging concern in a mixed-use watershed. From the picture here, you can see the mixture of different compounds resulting from residential or plant and animal agriculture, as well as medicinal and personal care products. The concern here is that these compounds are bioactive, and a number of them are endocrine-disrupting compounds, which means a very small amount can cause a negative effect. This can have impact on ecological and human health. The overall objective of this study, we looked at different sub-watersheds in Rochester, Minnesota area to see if land use correlates with the contaminants that we're finding, and can this be used as a fingerprint to point us more clearly in the direction of where we need to do our remediation or mitigation approaches. Looking here, you see that for the contaminants of emerging concern were found in both water and sediment samples. When we did principal component analysis, we found that they did cluster. We have agricultural sources and urban sources. Looking at a hydrograph of the river, you see where we have a spike in the hydrograph, any compounds that were associated with overland flow contributions. We also saw a spike in concentrations. And where the other compounds, we saw a reduction. From a perspective with turf, we also look at management practices to reduce pesticide and nutrients. Here you see the application rates are greater on turf systems than cropland, which is one of the issues. There were monitoring studies that showed a number of these compounds in waters and runoff. This shows a look at a combination of years of research looking at the management practices and how they improved it. This shows how some of the practices can reduce toxicity in the surface waters. Agricultural systems show that as well. And this year we're also going to start looking at agriculture in urban systems. This was a picture taken in St. Paul, and taking a look at in the different environments to see this is being grown in a front yard right along the street, what does this mean for contaminants that people will be exposed to when they grow vegetables in urban environments? And these are just outreach and service that, thank you.